always plan our stories out several months, if not weeks, in advance. Then we sit down and plan out, okay, what kind of shots do I need? Is there going to be multimedia? Am I going to have a portrait? Am I going to shoot video?
Rural Missouri stories, they all start off as an idea, and those ideas come from lots of different places. I'd say the biggest proportion of our story ideas come from our readers. There aren't many days that go by that I don't get at least one phone call or an email from a reader who wants to tell me about something interesting or somebody interesting that they know that they think would be a great topic for rural Missouri.
Eventually we come up with a list of stories we're going to do, and then we look at the map and make sure we're trying to spread them around the state geographically. From there we look at the logistics of, can we get this done and the amount of time we have between deadlines, and seasonal factors. Don't want to having snow on the ground when the May issue comes out.
I tend to be more the warm fuzzy kind of person. If there's an underdog or someone going through something, I really like to write stories like that. I got really involved with the family, and we touched a lot of hearts through that. So stories like that reach me and let me get to know the members. I enjoy them.
Well, we've got two rules here. The first one is make nice pictures. The second one is don't leave until you do. We stick around until we're confident that we have the photo we need.
Our Hearth and Home section is our recipe section, which used to be a single page, and we recently made that a two-page spread because it is one of the more popular pages of the magazine. I think it's because everybody likes to eat. Whether they cook or not, they love to eat.
I handle the classified advertising subscriptions and help the staff with layout and graphic design.
I'd say the biggest changes I've seen in rural Missouri has been how technology has impacted communication. I'd say so far the response to our online extras here with our new digital edition has been pretty good so far. It's a new thing, and so people are just kind of learning about it as time goes on, but once they do, I know that they seem to enjoy them. They especially like some of these pieces we're doing on some of these restaurants.
The need for rural Missouri to evolve is going to stem from just people themselves. People want extra content, they want extra pictures, and now we have the easy capabilities to give that to them.
Occasionally the best stuff doesn't get into the magazine. It just, for some reason or another, it didn't tell the story. So it may be a wonderful photo, but it's not the one that we're looking for the storytelling element. We start with the big picture. You always want to lead with something that'll give a little bit of impact. The last thing I do is put the story on, and over the years I've gotten pretty good, but occasionally you're in there cutting words out and trying to make it fit. And you wish you had a crowbar sometimes or a shoehorn to get that story in there.
When I started about 20 years ago, our advertising allowed us to fill maybe a 16-page issue. Now we're averaging around 44-page issues. So advertising has helped us grow, helped us become a bigger magazine, and we've been able to upgrade in our pictures, in the color, in the paper, and been able to do a lot more stories.
I work with all the local co-ops with their local pages for rural Missouri. They each have different versions, and I work with them to design and lay out those pages. Different co-ops do different things. Half of them send me information and I lay out and design their pages, and some of them send me their pages already designed.
Well, it's interesting to see the different techniques that people in charge like to use to lay out and effectively communicate their ideas and thoughts concerning their cooperatives and different activities that they have and concerns for their members. One of the best parts is finally meeting your contact people in person, because you've dealt with a name and emails and telephone calls, and it's really nice to be able to meet them in person and put a face with the name.
Working with rural Missouri is very complicated, mostly a lot of organizational and communication between the rural Missouri staff and our production staff. Once I get the information from rural Missouri for the local pages, I will take that information and put it into a spreadsheet detailing all the different requests, and I then send it over to pre-press so that they can build the job. I then look at the proofs once the pages start coming through for the local pages and send those back to rural Missouri for a double check. And once those come back, I double check to make sure all the corrections have been made, and then we send those on down to the plate room so that the plates can be made for the job. I also meet with the pressmen, go over the job and to take a look at the product itself before it hits the press, and kind of let them know if there's anything unique happening this month, and then we take it into production.
I think the best part of this has got to be when you get that magazine in the mail and you've put a lot of work into it, and when it all comes together and it gets printed up and there's that story with your byline on it, that's a thrill that even after 25, 26 years never goes away.